It's a historical day for Palestinians. Around 2 million Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, particularly 1 million forcibly displaced Palestinians from the northern Gaza Strip. For the first time in 15 months, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians are able now to cross the Netzarim corridor and reach the northern parts of the Gaza Strip, particularly Gaza City and Jabalia, Beit Lahia, Beit Hanun, and other areas in the northern Gaza Strip. This does not actually only mean that these Palestinians will only reach their homes, but they will also reunite with their families in the north. Hundreds of thousands of people were separated from their loved ones in the northern Gaza Strip as the Israeli army was actually following a policy of separating women from men whenever they stormed any house or any residential building in the northern Gaza Strip. They used to separate women from men. This resulted in the separation of women from their husbands, children from their fathers. Part of them are in the north and part of them in the south. This is why people here are running, actually literally running to the northern Gaza Strip. They are walking around 8 kilometers as they are prohibited from going there in cars. Due to the overcrowding of Palestinians here, we have literally seen hundreds of thousands of people on the road here. This is the north of Nuseirat, only before Netzarim corridor. We can see here also thousands of Palestinians also taking the seashore as a route to Gaza City due to the overcrowding of Palestinians on the main road, which is Rashid Street, allowing Palestinians to reach Gaza City. Palestinians are holding or carrying their luggage, their tents, their mattresses, blankets, clothes, everything they could take with them from their displacement camps, their displacement makeshift tents. They are carrying them and taking them back to northern Gaza. Many of them said that they will be actually setting up new tents on the rubble of their homes. We know very well that in the northern Gaza Strip, the vast majority of houses and residential buildings have been actually destroyed. Around 80% of residential buildings across the Gaza Strip have been either completely destroyed. From here, from the north of Nuseirat, we can see the hundreds of thousands of people now coming from the central parts of the Gaza Strip and the southern parts and heading north, particularly to Netzarim corridor, which is around 2 kilometers away from here. Palestinians are going there on foot. The road is very overcrowded. This is the most overcrowded scene we have ever seen in Gaza for the past decades. Palestinians are carrying their luggage, going there on foot, and due to the overcrowding of Palestinians, we can see that on the shore, the seashore, Palestinians have taken another route in order to avoid the crowded street. Now they have been trying to reach this area, particularly for the past hours. It is literally very overcrowded in the central Nuseirat and Deir al-Balah, particularly. To reach here from Deir al-Balah, you need at least 2 hours. The road that would have taken around 5 minutes would now take 2 hours for Palestinians to reach this street. يعطيك العافية.
الله يعافيك يا رب.
خبريني من وين جاية وين رايحة؟
من معسكر الدير. اجينا مشي وان شاء الله نعود على بيت حنون والحمد لله.
بيت موجود طبعا مش
موجود. لا مش موجود، لكن الحمد لله اننا نرجع لبلادنا يعني.
ايش بدك تعملي؟ وين بدك تقعدي؟
هلقيت انا بدي ارجع لجوزي يعني، انا جوزي في غزة بالوقت الحالي يعني، حرجع له في المدرسة. لي سنة بالضبط والحمد لله. مع فترة المجاعة لما صارت في شهر 3 في الحرب، اجيت انا واولادي 3 انفار مع بعض، وجينا والحمد لله ربنا سلمنا ويسلم جوزي والحمد لله اولادنا بخير، الحمد لله هينا راجعين له، واحلى شعور والله العظيم دمعتي بدها تنزل. الحمد لله.
استناكي هو على الجانب الآخر
ان شاء الله باقرب نقطة بده يبقى مستنيني.
حتقدري تمشي بالاولاد
والله هذه بنت اختي والدتها لها اسبوع برضه راجعة لدار عمها على الشمال ان شاء الله. هاي اختي ورايا.
مع مين انت رايحة؟ انت ومين؟
انا واخويا وجوز اختي اولادي.
اغراضكم؟
والله هيو مشي الحمد لله.
الحمد لله.
الحمد لله على كل حال يا رب.
This is another family another woman separated from her husband. She said that she was separated from him during the starvation, the systematic starvation imposed by the Israeli army, the Israeli authorities on the northern Gaza Strip. She couldn't bear the starvation, especially that she had children. So she decided to move to the southern parts of the Gaza Strip, which is designated by Israel as the humanitarian area. The aid and the goods were partially allowed into these areas. So many Palestinians, many women and children actually decided to cross to these areas in order to overcome this crisis. يعطيك العافية.
الله يعافيكي.
خبريني وين رايحة وين جاية؟
أنا كنت نازحة بالجنوب ومروحة على الشمال.
وين في الشمال بالضبط؟
بيت لاهية.
بيت لاهية، البيت مش موجود.
لا طبعا مش موجود.
وين رايحة؟ كيف؟
خيمة بس مش مشكلة، المهم رجعنا على بلدنا.
ليش بتبكي؟
من الفرحة، والله من الفرحة. تعبنا سنة و3 شهور بكفي، تعبنا. تعب بمعنى الكلمة.
تستني إلك هاي اللحظة
كتير، كل يوم كنت أدعي، يوم كنت أدعي إنه تخلص الحرب، وقف إطلاق النار، انكتب لنا عمر جديد. أهل جوزي بناتي انكتب لنا، كل شيء بدأ، كل شيء بضيع بتعوض، بس اللي بيروح ما بتعوض.
انت وين رايحة؟ مين بيستناك هنا؟
أهلي بغزة في نصر. الحمد لله.
مع مين طالعة؟
لقيت مع زوجي ماشيين مشي.
حتقدروا تمشوا الطريق معكم أطفال؟
مش مشكلة، لو بزحف المهم نوصل. الحمد لله، الحمد لله والشكر لله.
This is another family. As we see, there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of children, of women, of elderly people walking on foot to the northern parts of the Gaza Strip. They will particularly cross around 8 kilometers on foot. On the other side, on the other corridor where Israel allowed vehicles, this was Salah ad-Din Street in the east of Gaza, in the Gaza Strip. There, cars and vehicles are allowed, but under X-ray checks. It's also very overcrowded there, but people here find it easier to go on foot as they want to cross to northern Gaza as soon as possible, as fast as possible. They do not want actually to wait for X-ray checks on the east of the Gaza Strip. Here, only a few kilometers, around 2 kilometers away from the Netzarim corridor, following the withdrawal of the Israeli army, allowing hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, forcibly displaced Palestinians, to return to their homes in Gaza City and the northern Gaza Strip. This passage was opened at around 7 a.m. on Monday, allowing these Palestinians to cross only on foot on Rashid Street in the west of Gaza City, and via vehicles at Salah ad-Din Street in the east of Gaza City. Palestinians will basically be walking around here 8 kilometers to reach Gaza City and another multiple kilometers to reach the northern Gaza Strip. For the past 3 days, these Palestinians have been literally sleeping on the ground here in the closest point to Gaza City, as they were waiting to be allowed to return, while Israel accused Hamas of violating the terms of the ceasefire agreement by not handing over Israeli captive Arbil Yehud. But last night, following attempts to resolve the problem that resulted in Israeli blocking the return of displaced Palestinians, the Qatari Foreign Ministry said that the Israeli captive would be handed over to Israel along with 2 other captives by Friday, in return for the agreement for the Palestinians to be allowed to return to Gaza City and the northern Gaza Strip. So this is a historical moment, as Palestinians are describing it. Many Palestinians are describing it as Eid, or feast. For the first time, they are celebrating these atmospheres. For the past 15 months, Palestinians are now allowed to return to the rubble of their homes in Gaza City.